le Canadien. C'est dans notre sang, dans notre cœur, notre tradition, notre honneur. Le Canadien, c'est tout, c'est une partie de nous. Bleu, blanc, rouge. Le Canadien, c'est une partie de nous.
Hey, welcome back to another The Red Light Show with the hockey coach, Coach Franchise, directly for the beautiful country of Thailand on amazing, great Sunday night, February 22nd, 2026. Some of you may be crying still. Some of you may be upset. Some of you may be frustrated. Some of you may be disappointed. Some of you don't want to talk about hockey anymore. Some of you said it's not good. But I'm back with the Montreal Canadiens and the NHL because they are returning NHL tonight at midnight. The NHL are back in the business. We're going to talk about, of course, what happening today, this morning, early, and the Olympic 2026. First time I sleep last night since February 12th. What do you mean? But all the night I was doing game. And sometimes 3 games per day, 2 games per day. And my life was like crazy. But finally, Bronny said we sleep good last night. We did a very good night. I wake up at 5:30. I'm fired up. I'm ready to rock and roll for all the Montreal Canadiens fans today. And, of course, I'm going to get back on the track this week because the NHL is back. This is the subject of the night, guys. People, so when I talk about the Olympic coach all night, but I said, you know what? But because the trade deadline is coming, the Olympic is behind us. We have to look forward. We have to look what's coming in front of us. And the NHL is coming with a buyer and a seller, buy or sell. And who's going to be those kind of team? And, of course, I'm going to talk about the game today. And the best way to talk about the Olympics 2026 and the best way to talk about the trade deadline is to be with someone where he knows about everything in hockey. And he's a big fan of the Montreal Canadiens. But the most important thing is the big fans of all of you. He's back in the house, sit at home in Toronto, enjoy the weekend for then one more night. And he's really talking about the Montreal Canadiens. And, of course, I'm talking about Mr. Enortap. He's back in the house.
Hello, Coach. Hello, Hockey Nation. I wish we were getting together under better circumstances. But, it was a heck of a series or an Olympics. And we saw some excellent hockey. It's almost difficult, Coach, to think, we're going back to the NHL. It's going to take a little while to get adjusted to a different speed, a different skill set level, and it'll take some time. And the more important thing, how many injuries that we don't know about that players played with.
Absolutely, we're going to hear that. The Four Nations last season, you can see the Kachuk did not play for a couple of games, everything. So we're going to get those kind of information the next couple of days. But look, we're going to talk about this in the next couple of minutes about the game. I can't wait to mention that. But before that, we're going to welcome a couple of people, knock the door. And Mr. Roger Bouchard, notre ami de Roger de Vermont. My friend, talk about with me every day. I'm glad to see you, my friend. Hopefully, an amazing, great week. Roger, he did not like the Olympic, Mr. Top. He does not into it. He said, for me, it's a Montreal Canadian. He has the tattoo of Montreal on his heart. And that's okay. And nothing wrong about that. But he asked a question about the game, everything. So this guy, Samuel, back in the house. Welcome back. Thanks for with us. What about Monsieur Ozio Murphy? Knock the door. Welcome back, Ozio. Hopefully you're doing well. Waffle House. Welcome, McDavid. C'est losing the big game. Welcome, Mr. Half Waffle House. 24/7, Mr. Tap. Did you ever eat at the Waffle House in, I don't know, Windsor or on the other side of the
I think
country?
once, but it was a long time ago. Once in Canada, but it was okay. It was nothing. I'm not a waffle person.
All right. Yeah, the Waffle House, Mr. Tap. This is a place you go after you get out the night. Like
Yeah.
you go out after the bar at 3 o'clock. Now you're looking around where I can go eat. It's a bit
Yeah.
redneck. I apologize for people. Maybe some of you work at the Waffle House, but it's redneck, Mr. Enortap. More in the area, no, I said that, or no, people are thinking, but like North Carolina, more about Roanoke, Virginia, Southern Virginia, a lot of Waffle House, Mr. Enortap. The rest area, you stop, you have a Waffle House there, but it's a little bit cheaper, but at the end of the day, uh, I have been there, Waffle House, a couple of times. It's not that. It's not the best place to invite someone after the bar if you want to do something else, but it is what it is, Mr. Enortap. We have Roger Bouchard, Ovidio knock the door, notre ami Ovidio back. RJ Calabro de retour avec nous. RJ Calabro is going to, no, RJ said, no, it's time, the NHL is coming. He said, 2 more nights, then I'll be ready, RJ Calabro. He's waiting. He's hungry. He's eager to get some news around the NHL. He did a couple of great news, by the way, RJ Calabro. So he's a great man. He's a good man for the Hockey Nation show. We should tell him a little bit more about this. Again, we have Billy knock the door. Welcome back, Billy, for Nova Scotia. Billy was out of the picture a lot, because he worked the morning. And
it was tough.
The schedule was not good for him to be with us many times. He did about a couple of games, but unfortunately for him, I'll be there. Mr. Jim Beringer is in the house for the full press hockey. Welcome back, Jim.
All right,
hopefully see you, Jim, Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to contact you if you can stop by Monday or Tuesday. And hopefully we're going to see you around, Jim Beringer. I'm sure you have a lot of things to talk about this one. For sure. And then Audrey Murphy talk again. Randy Rock, welcome back. Thanks to be with our Canadian show. Claude Richard from Ottawa. Welcome back, Claude. We see a couple of times on the Olympics. Mr. Ovidio was with us every time. Pierre W. knocked the door tonight. Welcome back. He's going with Ben at Maturin with 30 points for 30 points tonight for Maturin. Pierre W. Really? Here we go. Mr. Cashfin, welcome back. I'm just glad it's over so I can get back to the ab. Cashfin, he stopped by a couple of times, I believe, on the Olympic, but glad to see you. Cashfin is always with us, Mr. Enortap, but he's the most silent guy in the chat, Mr. Enortap. He just showed up at the last second when I said, good night, everybody. Hey, good show, Coach. Cashfin, glad to see you, my friend. Glad to stop by at the beginning to say hi to everyone. Calv, welcome back. Thanks to be with our Canadian show, the right people, even more. Roger Bouchard, Billy, Ovidio. Eminem from British Columbia, note one has come with us every time. He was with us many times. Eminem, my MS and the one guys, he was working during the day, but he was listening to the Hockey Nation show. So glad to Eminem be with us. And then we have we'll trade a 2 Olympic gold medal for one Stanley Cup for the Abs. Everything. Gary Conley knocked the door. Gary Conley, thanks again to be with us. Gary, so he's scheduled at UPS. He take a break at the lunchtime and he listen the game with us. Gary, thanks again for everything you bring to the table with us. Roger Bouchard talking with Gary. Pierre W. bring a cheat date to Waffle House. Pierre W. That's a kind of, usually you bring there the puck bunny. The puck bunny, that's where you pick up them, and then you bring them at the Waffle House, and then after that...
has to absorb the alcohol. Yeah, we know.
It's a bit more the higher level. Now you go to international restaurant, so it's the next level for the breakfast, Mr. Enortap, but you get there. If you get better, a better cheese, by now you bring out the buffet, the morning, and she get happy about that. But there you go. Martin Besnet de retour avec nous. Martin Besnet from Waterloo de retour avec le Canadien Montréal. It's good. I feel good, Mr. Enortap, on one side because I miss the Montreal Canadiens, the fans of Montreal Canadiens. We have the Olympic. I would say to you, 70% come to the Olympics game talking about the game here in the chat, right? But we're missing the other part of those fans where they are not coming to Olympics. Nothing wrong with that. But to come back to see them tonight, I'm really happy to see a couple of new faces. We miss them, a couple of things. The Canadiens have their best game dominated by Hellebuck. Stood the game for the Olympics. Every time that.
Coach, can we finally put it to sleep that Hellebuck doesn't come up big in big games?
You're
I've
right
been saying
about that
for years, but He's a top-notch goalie, and today I think he proved that.
He finally proved something we never tried to do, he never did in the past for him. So going to start with Mr. Tap with the headlines of the show. Don't forget to click on the likes. And I'm going to wait that you're going to be back tomorrow. It's Tuesday. People will be back normal. We're missing a lot of people tonight. I expect that. Some people, they're still angry about the game, so they don't want to talk about hockey for sure tonight. They prefer to watching a movie, but we're going to see happening. But highlights, and we'll see what we got. My highlights of the night, guys, and I'll bring you with my highlights something different I usually do, because that will give us a subject to talk about. The game at the Olympics. It was magical. It was amazing. I've been doing about 20 game live stream. 3 or 4 games of the women, 16 of the men. And it was my first Olympic as a play-by-play, and it was unbelievable. It was a great hockey. So for me, it was a great events from the beginning to the end. You have a lot of great things. So I want to bring you guys. We're going to put this right there on the table. We're going to talk about the game all together. Leave your comments in the chat. And Mr. Enortap is going to give us a little bit more deeper about what's happening during the game at some point also. And we're going to give you all the information for the men on that side. It don't consist to give us, you guys, a couple of information about that. Now, first of all, I have to be honest with you. The best hockey in the recent year for me, that was like one of the best events I did not see for a long time. And from the beginning to the end, it started with a big win of Slovakia over Finland with 4-1. That shock right there with 3 points with Juraj Slavkovsky. And that go all the way to the end. There are many overtime. The winner, guys, it's, of course, USA. Both team on the men and the women with the gold. Some team have the medal. I understand that. But the winner of this guy is all the hockey fans around the world. Not only here, but around the world. This was, for me, magical. It was amazing. It was up and down. I've not been nervous since Montreal Canadiens, Mr. Enortap, at the beginning of the playoff in 2021 when they go all the way to the final. More about the Vegas Golden Knight, that series, I was really nervous at some point. The Josh Anderson goal and then overtime goal. I've been that way, but since that, I was really calm to do the game. But this week was for me like, oh my God, it was amazing to see that. First of all, guys, 46 years ago, date to date, I don't know where you were in the 1980. But it was a magistral performance of the Miracle on the Ice by the Team USA. And yesterday they did the same thing. And one thing I want to talk about this, Mr. Enortap, behind hockey. I always said, sport bring relationship. Sport bring friendship. Sport bring something you're never going to see or you're going to witness if you are not a locker room inside of a hockey, because that's why you build something special. And yesterday for me, behind the winning and the losing, everything like that, I think for what happened yesterday, Mr. Enortap, that was the biggest moment for me for remember, because they had this since the beginning last year at the Four Nations, the Goodrow impact for inside of that team. He was still involved. He was still inside of that of this organization, and he continues to celebrate Johnny Goodrow. His dad was there. His mom was there. The kid, the Goodrow, are right there. You can see them, and this was all about at the end of the day, Mr. Enortap. So yes, Canada lose. I understand that. USA win. I know that. But at the end of the day, Mr. Enortap, the winner is really the hockey fans around the world with this amazing, great tournament happening in the Italy Olympics 2026. So I will let you know. You can sharing what you think about this. Meanwhile, I will just give you some information, guys. But let's talk first with you, Mr. Enortap. what you see, what you for, what you your point of view about the game yesterday between Canada. Maybe also an overview of the tournament, and then I'm going to add more subject about that game.
Yeah, first of all, Coach, I want to congratulate you on doing a great job. I know how difficult it must have been to do two, sometimes three games in one day, and at different time zone. And I think you pulled it off magnificently. And hopefully we get more people to come on board here and
Thank you.
support the Hockey Nation.
As,
Um,
before you
you know,
talk, Mr. Atta, I want to
yeah,
mention that. First of all, thanks so much for your kind of word. But I would say to you, it was great. We make some new friends inside that round.
that's right.
I would say to you, like Starlight is one of them. I can recall it. We have Mr. Riviera, another one. We have a couple of people. I said 4 or 5. They're really hanging with us at the tournament. Brandon from Wisconsin, another one. So it's glad to see those kind of people, Mr. Tap, behind. We don't have a chance. We have a lot of people from Slovakia. I wish I can speak with them, but I could not. But Slovakia people, guy came with us a lot of time watching the game for soccer ski, everything. So good point you talk about this, but appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in terms of the Olympics and I guess specifically hockey, I mean, I thought both the men and the women hockey was very, very good, especially the men. I thought the skill level that and the speed of the game that they brought to the forefront really gives people an appreciation for the talent that these players have. And I know that we can get into the nitpicking of, well, this player did this and this one didn't do that and this one came out big at the key times and others didn't. But overall, totally enjoyable. All you have to do is look at the playoff games that were played, the quarterfinals, even the elimination round to get to the quarterfinals, the semifinals. There were a number of games that went to overtime and were decided by a lucky bounce or a good shot, and you know, uh, I wouldn't use, like, I know some people have said, well, 3-on-3 hockey is not really hockey, but I think all the teams knew the rules before they went in, right? And the way they had to sort of adjust to that was part of the game. I don't like it per se, especially in a gold medal game. But those are the rules, and you had to learn to adapt to that as well. So overall, I want to congratulate USA. I thought they put up a strong game for me. The key player for them was Hellebuck. He set aside, I think it was somewhere around 42, 43 shots today, and he stood on his head. I mean, that save he made with the paddle stick on Tays, when it looked like it was going to be a certain goal, like that was just remarkable. And it just goes to show, sometimes you put a good defense in front of a very good goalie, and you bring out excellence in that goalie as well. It works both ways. It's a team sport. It's not one individual that's going to do it for you. And I like the side stories that came out of all of this. I thought we saw a good showing by many other teams. We saw the Finns come out strong. I mean, if anything, maybe Sweden was a little bit disappointing. I thought that they would be put in a stronger effort. Maybe effort's not the right word. They would have put in a stronger showing, but it didn't happen for a number of reasons. But you had, I thought the Swiss looked good. I thought the Czech, the Slovaks, they put in key games, especially in the playoffs. So overall, I thought it was hugely successful.
No, you're absolutely right about that. Like I said, the fans winning about this part, but overall was a great hockey game. At some point, Mr. Tap from the quarterfinal, the 4 game quarterfinal, and then the next day we got the woman, uh,
Yeah.
the woman side. Listen, we got 5 of the 6 game and overtime. So it was like amazing hockey, in my opinion. From the golden goal, but so many great stories get out of that events, Olympic, and you have a shocking moment. You have a team you don't expect to play that level, then they pop up there. It's like I will give you another one here, guys. The Olympic have everything. The late comeback, then you have the heart breaking collapse, and the shocking moments when those Olympic guys. Yeah, so many times on top it was 2-1, 3-2. And then with 3 minutes to go remaining, and bang, another goal, and then tie the game, and then we go in overtime again, and then we play a 3-on-3. I understand some people are upset about that, but it's part of the rule, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
And they applied
if
for
you
all
look
the teams.
about the overview of everything on the both side, Switzerland on the women's side, they never win. They have only one medal during those that country and Olympic. And they find a way to beat Sweden and get that one over there. Finland hockey game, a woman supposed to be a great team. Did not make the middle round. We know USA, Canada. The game of women, Canada, USA was an amazing, great game. The USA gave only one goal, I believe, during the tournament until, again, Canada. And then almost Canada unplugged that one. Both Canada could win, men and women, that tournament, but unfortunately they did not. They did not, but at the end, great performance for Canada for the women's side. And on the men's side, Sakeski, Slovakia, it was the beginning of the story, the first round robin from Slovakia to finish first on the Group B. That's a great event. At some point, Latvia beat Czechia during the first round. And then France, at some point, was beat Czechia during their game until Czechia came back. But you have a lot of story for each team to talk about and to get out with smile and not to looking about disappointed about this. And so that we have a super goal. Billy back in the house. Mr. Billy from Nova Scotia give us the first goal of the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's hit it.
Thank you, Billy. Billy with us on the great goal from today. Thanks so much, Billy. We're going to get, of course, an assist to PLW. Get an assist active tonight, PLW. We miss you, Mr. PLW. That's another one. PLW with Gary Conley got an assist where PLW tried to navigate. I don't know, Mr. Enortap. I think you and me and many others, we are really nuts about sport, right? We follow sport and we love it. It's the DNA. And but imagine me, I don't have that kind of situation, but PLW work every day, and he had to fight with the work and watching the game and to hear the game, everything like that. I'm sure this guy was like this is not like what he liked to be. Honestly, he preferred to have his weekend watching the sport, but BLW find a way to hang in here with us, with his friend François Lamarche from Australia, the doctor, the doc, and many others. I just want to open the door to say that Larry and Mark Elliott, two big contributors during the Olympics, not only on the chat, but also on the support of the channel. So I want to both of them, Larry Lavallée and many others did support, but I think Larry and Mark Elliott lead as a contributor of the Hockey Nation show. But many of them, Franklin Marovich was another one, been with us all the time, Serge Villemer, Gilles, and then we got also, I'm missing two more. Ovidio was there all the time. Deflay, retired guy, was with us almost every night, all the time. So we have about 10, 15, 20 people with us every game at the Olympics. So it's pretty amazing to see that. It's pretty fun to do that. And that's the way. Consist what I'm talking about. Of course, the moderator, Ron, Ovidio, helping us also during that time. So I appreciate all of us, you guys, to be with us. But behind that, I think this is for me the winner of the fans, of course. And now, that's how you build the game. That's kind of situation like Olympic guys. How you build you build the game around the world, and we have to see all of them at the 2028 World Cup, and I can wait to see them performing in front of us. Hopefully, Russia will be a part of that World Cup. But until then, I think I was not USA in 1980, 81 to see the impact. We saw the impact around the USA. A little bit later, where you have hockey now all around the USA and Florida, Arizona, and everywhere, and they create hockey player. Austin Matthews, Arizona example. Jacob Fuller for Florida example. So, but this impact of the goal are going to make another big impact for long time, and the USA, and that will just increasing the number of the player in USA, not only in Michigan and Minnesota and Massachusetts, but other states are going to benefit of that W this yesterday. And good congratulations. And for me, I said during the show, Mr. Enortap, at the end of the game was 1-1. I said, whatever happened, the fans are the winner, and I still believe this is happening about that. Now, the game, Canadiens, Mr. Enortap, Canada have the game in their hands. They're missing too many opportunities to get that W, to close that game. No doubt, it could be, if it was clutch players, they was finishing their play. This game should be 4-1, 5-1. On the flip side, whatever Canada miss, we have to give credit for one specific player, is Connor Hellebuyck. Connor Hellebuyck play a solid game. That's maybe one of the best. I said that at the second period, almost at the half of the game, it was 0-0 before McCall score. I said, Mr. Enortap, the last goaltender I saw that way, for me, it was honestly Carey Price, when they won 1-0 for Team Canada 2014. That will remind me, I was that flash over there. And Hellebuyck, it was that kind the performance, from my opinion, over 40 shots, and he stopped 40 of them. It was the reason why USA, if not, without him, this game is not there allowed. It would be 4-1. And finally, he proved to the rest of the world that Connor Hellebuyck is one of the greatest hockey goaltender in the NHL history. Yes, maybe never going to win the Stanley Cup with the Winnipeg Jet. Yes, yeah, maybe bad playoff, everything. It's part of the resume. But he just proved today why he is considered one of the top 5 best goalie in NHL, and he proved it with the Team Canada, Team USA.
Yeah, it's sometimes these moments that cement your legacy in the NHL and even further down the road in terms of hockey across the world. And we all know and think back to some of the major goals that have been scored either in Olympics or major competitions, or even the 72 series. It's easy to bring those moments up and say, okay, what were you doing on this day when so and so Henderson or Crosby or Lemieux scored, and it really cements who that player eventually becomes in terms of leaving a legacy behind in the NHL.
Yeah, absolutely right about that. So that's conclude, guys. Honestly, the Olympics. Hopefully you enjoy it. For me, it was an amazing performance, and it's one of the country I learned during those kind of Olympic to know more about other country players, everything like that. This is the end example of Belmar, Cervenka from Czechia. Some player have done at 38, 39, 40. Crosby should be his last Olympic for him also. Sad for Sidney Crosby. And we don't talk about this, but without Crosby, and I don't want to be negative here. That's what I said. I don't want to talk about players have a bad tournament or they disappear during that tournament. I complained a lot yesterday about Marchand, but at the end of the day, the injury of Sidney Crosby changed a bit more the directive of this narrative of the Canada yesterday. I think with Crosby, that could be changed a little bit better. That we balance more the line for the Canadian, because yesterday was always about Sidney, McKinnon, and McDavid. But with Sidney Crosby, I think that would balance more the both side of this. And I think a 5-on-3 with Sidney Crosby, guys, over Reinhardt, I think that would change everything, the outcome. But can I use this as an excuse? But I think the impact of Sidney Crosby in the Olympic like that is been always a big part of the success of the Canada. And such let him go that way. Hopefully he's not hurt. To miss many games for the Pittsburgh Penguins, everything like that. You talk about injury earlier. We lost Kevin Fiala. McKinnon play with many with an injury. Look like so. Would be interesting why he's going to come back. Roman Ozy for Sweden is another player was hurt. Rantanen did not play the bronze medal yesterday. We'll see how he look like. By then they. I said you should have this every year. We are really spoiled to get a 4 Nation last year, to Olympic this year. I don't know what NHL have to do next year, Mr. Enortap. They should take just a weekend off. Don't show anything. Don't bring any
don't
game.
do an All-Star game.
Don't do anything. Just give a break for everybody. A spring break hockey, Mr. Enortap, for 5 days, and for the fans and everything, and then come back with the World Cup the following year. I think that's the best thing they can do, because no clothes they can bring something at that level. Like we did in the last couple of days. And it was the dream for us hockey fans to see Canada, USA, 2 powerhouse face yesterday. Congratulations for all the fans for the USA. Congratulations for all the team.
Absolutely.
And, of course, for the Canada, too. And like I said, it will stink for a long time, and we're still talking about the goal of Paul Anderson. We're still talking about the goal of Mario Lemieux. We're still talking about the goal of the miracle on the ice. We're still talking about Sidney Crosby goal in overtime in 2010, and we're going to talk about Jack Hughes forever and USA as one of the biggest moments in the history of the team USA and hockey. So it is what it is. 1 week West as a break. The other week is as a break. Not a bad idea. François Lamarche, Mr. Enortap, is de retour avec nous. The Doc is back in the house. And then we have with Miss Ganguru. Hopefully, Miss Ganguru is okay. N26, Crosby can play at least 3 more seasons. Adam at the box save remind me of the goal of the Alex Tuch miss and the Stanley Cup. Again, the Capitals are the biggest first year. About that, that's the kind of moment right there. Eichel interview after the game was emotional. Well, he was not the only one. Honestly, many of them was emotional. Sheffley would help a lot more que Marchand and Jarvis. Renat was underused. On that one, Adam, welcome to the house. Francois, we have a few people knock the door, guys. N26, welcome back, my friend. We miss you. Hopefully, you're doing well, N26. And then let's see if we have other people. I maybe not say hi to everyone. I think Billy, after that, one more time, is on tap. Jay is back at Canada at the end of the game with a skilled competition for a gold medal. The 3 versus 3 was a little bit concerned about this. You know what? One thing, Mr. Enortap, with all the comments in the chat we got tonight, what I'm really happy is, they maybe missed the too many men on the ice, right? During the game. But the referee have overall a very good tournament. They not make a big part of the outcome overall, and that's pretty good. I think they did very well. It was excellent, their job. Not easy, right? But I think the referee did not make an impact on that outcome, and that's the most important things, in my opinion. Whatsoever, maybe Czechia is upset about that game or other team, but at the end of the day, I think they did a very good job. I can tell you, nobody talk about this, Mr. Enortap. About this. A lot of great comments for Pierre W. Mr. Enortap. It can happen in one game. Winner take all. You're right about this. There was 7 players on the ice at some point. Yes, and many players at UCK will win the cup before McDavid for Gary. Then we missed the 6-man Czech goal also. Yeah. But in general, I think overall, Mr. Enortap was pretty good. So, anything you want to add before we move on, Mr. Enortap? Was a long headline, but I think it was pretty good too. It's not happening
No, yeah.
every time. But I think
Look,
overall, Mr. Enortap was pretty good to see
yeah.
that.
I think
For
you pretty much hit on everything there, Coach. Uh, Again, it was very exciting. I mean, I would add one more thing too, and it's not talked about. We talk about Crosby, and that was a big absence for Team Canada, but also Josh Morrissey. I think he would have really helped to stabilize the defensive core for Canada. But you know what? Injuries are part of the game, and I you can only go away from us, an Olympics or a series and be disappointed if you haven't left everything on the ice. And I think Canada kind of did that, and it's a matter of getting the lucky bounces when you need it. And they today wasn't their day, and again, congratulations to the U.S. for pulling it off.
Yeah, absolutely about that. Yeah, like great comments after the game by fan players. And Nathan McKinnon said that it's you, how you said that the way like you have to judge by yourself who was the best team on the ice today. That show exactly the
Yeah,
feeling. The feeling of the Templars guys after the game was like it was hard to watch all the face for the players and the disappointment they have inside of them, and then the woman's side,
and
it was also the same way.
And the other thing is, can we stop giving out those plush teddy bears or whatever the heck they were giving out at the end of the game? I thought that was ridiculous. Give the medals and that's it. I thought that was a bit uncalled for. I know they do it for all the sports that were in the Olympics, but it's something I think the Olympics should get rid of.
Yeah, I agree with you about that. I still don't remember what kind of the muppet or the bear they gave to them after the silver medal, but that's I don't get it that one. But ceremony
They
should be
used
a
to
little
give
bit
out
lush.
flowers at one point.
I don't know, but it was not like
You don't need that. You don't need that.
the guy is lucky no player return is his face like but
Yeah. Well,
on that one.
McKinnon looked at it for a while and then sort of
Yeah,
shook his head a little bit.
yeah, I don't think so. They will bring back on their bag to come back home for sure. Great to see that. We're going to go, guys, on new NHL news. Going to pick it up where we are, and that will be like this for the next couple of days. And first of all, the NHL news. We have a couple of news around the NHL. It will be quick. But the NHL return, Mr. Tap, tonight at midnight, back on the business. Trade deadline is until March 6th, 2026. And then Wednesday, NHL is back in action. Finally, some fans like not too much about Olympic are excited to see back at the Olympics, Mr. Tap, at the NHL in action. We're going to be live Wednesday night. We're going to present the game between Tampa Bay Lightning and the Toronto. So we're going to do this the next couple of weeks, guys, here, the live stream at the Hockey Nation. We're going to carry on more game live stream to follow more the race of the playoff until to the end. Why? Because I think it's important to know exactly. And then at the end of the day, Mr. Tap, sometime when we watch Toronto Tampa Bay, like example, Wednesday, or if you watch Florida Panthers versus Buffalo Sabres Friday, another example. But still in the chat, we're still talking about the Montreal Canadiens. So it's not going to be a big dramatic chant for all the fans for here, but I think it would be good to look maybe new fans coming around other team and to have a great conversation. Like I said, Starlight was one of them, but we have to wait about this. Pierre Debus said that these peluche are now back order all the store. It's a very rare item about that one.
They can keep
I
it.
did not talk, Mr. Anta, about Sakoski and everything, because we won't talk about them the next couple of minutes. That's the reason. But we know Sakoski was on the All-Star game, All-Star team, and Olympic. I know some Pierre W, Gary Connery, and I think under one talk about this. So I just want to mention we don't ignore you. I just have a subject about that in the next couple of minutes. So, but I appreciate that, guys. You bring that. Grammy, that man don't like the Olympic mascot about this. Honestly, I didn't see the mascot. to my. Mr. Top, by the way, I know we talk about NHL, but one discipline I really was into it a lot. It was the curling. I was really into the curling. Like I watched men and women curling, more like any other discipline. All the crazy stuff with ski, everything like that. I did not watch a lot, but the curling was really interesting for me. Men and women did very well, by the way. It's not because Canada, but I was into curling. I don't know the fact the hours fell or what it was giving me my time, but I was really into it. About that, we miss your participation at the luge and bobsleigh, but maybe we're going to get you up next time, Mr. Enortap. But you think that before you catch fun, Mr. Enortap, Ellen Keefe is in the house. I cannot wait for the app game on Thursday. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you again, Mr. Enortap, from Ellen Keefe. Always a pleasure to see you. And again, Ellen, hopefully the kids and the family and you're traveling around is still looking for a Newfoundland. And glad to see you always here. With the Hockey Nation, I appreciate that. You have to be good at the maths and curling about that one. And it was a good game.
I thought at one point in curling, a hockey game was going to break out. I mean, there were some tense moments.
Yeah, the brick every time they're when they touch the conversation about that controversy. But my point behind that, right, that event, right. They have a lot of great game. Come back, losing by two points and then come back and everything like that. Good performance. Whatever happened with the men, it was great. You have a couple of deceptions like Sweden. One men, the men Sweden was one of the top. Did not make it very well. But anyway, at the end, it was pretty good about that. Canada have a chance to win. They did not accept the silver medal. Move on. You're right about that one for sure. Mr. Enortap, the next thing I want to talk about this, just a couple of quick news during the time we miss this. Merechek, guy for Anaheim Ducks, and Damko out for the rest of the season. The both goaltender with another hip surgery. San Jose finished the contract with Jeff Skinner. So he's going to be available for everyone. Maybe come back with others, just kidding. And then, obviously, the injury of Kevin Fiala at the Olympics going to hurt the Kings. We're going to talk about the next couple of minutes about the deadline, so that will go about this one over there. Canadiens almost cross-check the Sweden players with the broom about that one. I tried calling. I keep falling. Joseph, welcome back. I did that. Mr. Enortap, at 12, 13, I don't know, secondary, maybe in my first year at the school, I went to the private school for 2 years, I believe, before I moved. Anyway, short story. It was a school where it was oriented about sport. And you have to try many things. Like, you cannot only play hockey or do something. It's like you have to do. And you have to do different sport. And I remember we did the Olympics. At the end of the year, it was May 31st, guys. May 31st, imagine that. I'm in Shawinigan, so it's like Quebec, right? And I go to school. May 31st, so we have I represent the flag. I was in Mexico. I was a Mexican, Mr. Enortap. I was represent Mexico. We have 8 members, 4 girls, 4 men, and Mexico versus Denmark, Mexico, Sweden, and you compete on many things like hockey ball, and the gym, example, canoeing. We have a private lake, so we go canoeing, a race, many other things. We did curling. We have an event about curling. It's like about 30 minutes, 32 minutes, and it was an event for 3 days. And we finished second, by the way, on that event. But my point, the May 31st, Mr. Enortap, when I did the canoe, I thought it was pretty good on the canoe. So they put me on the seat in the front. But believe it, Mr. Enortap, the lake is not like a big lake, but we have you have to go around the cone, the buoy, and then come back. You have to do two laps every time like that. But Mr. Enortap, May 31st, I'm talking about maybe 1976, 7, maybe 78. It was snowing. The snow, Mr. Enortap. May 31st, May 31st was snow in Quebec, guys. We got
Canadian.
about 1 inches of the snow, and we have to do the canoe, Mr. Enortap, with glove and a hat on my head about that one. But I still remember on those events. So talk about curling. I tried curling, Mr. Enortap, for a couple of times, but not for me. Not for me.
No, not for me either.
I never broom at my home, at my house. I don't start to broom and the ice, Mr. Enortap. I prefer to skate, by the way. Sanderman is in the house. Welcome back. Thanks to be with our Canadian show. Appreciate a lot. And next thing, Mr. Enortap, and we're going to move on to the next subject we have tonight, guys. And the subject we want to talk about is the trade deadline and NHL. They're talking about the Montreal Canadiens. So first, we're going to talk about the Montreal Canadiens. And before that, we're going to take a break for 20 seconds. Don't go nowhere. And we are back with the news about the Montreal Canadiens. Everybody wait for that one. Thanks again, Billy, for the goal you did to the Hockey Nation show, by the way. Let's talk about Montreal Canadiens, guys. They are returning on the ice since February 17. Meanwhile, Laine is still in the team. He's still there, guys. If you're looking for Patrick Laine, yes, he's still on that team, by the way. Alex Newhook is back, Mr. Enortap, back with a normal jersey, but a little bit surprised, a little bit in front of the trade that the deadline was expected for him. Maybe he's not going to play this week. I'll be shocked. But glad to see Alex Newhook with them. During the week, guys, they have a couple of days off, but he practiced outside for the foundation yesterday, I believe, or the day before. All the players are performing in front of a couple hundred people at Notre-Dame de Grâce, I believe. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Canada, Montreal Canadian Guys Foundation built a rink outside since a couple of years ago. I don't know how many they have around the Montreal now. And they was part of the foundation events for that. And then yesterday they was performing at the Bell Center in front of the people for the special event they build every year. Exactly. So good for the fans, good for them. Like Ellen said, but many others. Gary Convoyer text me on my Discord, said, let's go Montreal. They are back now. Let's move on. And that's what we're going to do now. The Olympics behind us. And now we're going to talk about the Bleu Blanc Rouge, Mr. Enortap, for the next couple of days before the return on the ice. Finally, the coach can speak with authority about that one. And add lead a skill competition today.
The skills competition was actually quite interesting. And for the second year in a row, hardest shot recorded by Arbor Jackeye at 107 miles per hour. So that was great. And I think it was Evans had won the accuracy competition, and the fastest skater, I mean, we can all guess, it was Lane Hudson. Excellent.
For the love of God, let's talk at men, rest and pains. Really, Goudreau and lay the rest for that, Johnny Goudreau and the rest. Let's move on, Mr. Enortap, for the Montreal Canadiens. I want to talk about this. The player at the Olympics. Now we'll come back to Olympic, but I want to give 3 players perform for Montreal. Honestly, Sakoski, Zuski, and Kapanen. Sakoski finished strong. I think he has 7 points, I believe, during the tournament. Started very well. Like Slovakia, they fell apart at the last 2 games. But I think Sakoski proved again what kind of player he can become in NHL. And 2022, he was the MVP with 7 goals in 7 games, I believe. The fact he did it at 17 years old was amazing, right? The fact was his year draft be a first overall. And we know what happened with him the first 3 years for the Montreal. He does his 4 years now. He's already breakout season with Montreal Canadiens. But to do it now, again, at that level, international, here in Canada, guys, we talk about Team Canada today. We talk about the pressure of McDavid, McKinnon, everything like that. Slovakia, maybe you don't know, but Juraj Sakoski is the biggest name in Slovakia. Like, this is the king in Slovakia. And you talk about carrying his team on his shoulder and carrying the country on his shoulder. He did it pretty good, I think, overall for him. Matter of fact, it was on the first All-Star game. So just give you an idea, the excellent tournament of Juraj Slavkovsky. And then I'm going to finish with Suzuki. Suzuki, some people thinking maybe have a bad tournament. I think Suzuki have a specific role with Team Canada. And that was kind of quality and the skilled, talented player you have. You have to defy a different role you have inside the team. I think he did pretty good overall after the injury of Crosby to change jumping from winger to the center. You see a more natural Suzuki. And then finally, Kapanen. For Kapanen, he maybe played 3 games, but honestly, yesterday he played only 1 game. But he did really good. I was impressed by filling a game by Kapanen. So let's see the chat. Give us guys your comments about the 3 players and Mr. Tap sharing your thought about the player for the Montreal Canadiens.
Well, Slavkovsky was probably the biggest benefit from the Olympics, I thought. He's definitely the leader. We saw what we were seeing in Montreal during the course of the year extended to the Olympics. He did not slow down. And I like the fact that there were a couple times, even against the U.S. game, where, he stood his ground physically with some of the, Kachuk boys, and he was tough in the corners. And I think those are all things that are going to help him, improve his game as he comes back to Montreal. With Suzuki, you're absolutely right, Coach. It's about. He seemed a little bit out of sorts when he was on the wing, but as soon as he made the shift to center, you saw an improved play out of him. He was much more comfortable. He really sees the ice well, and I thought defensively he was extremely responsible, and got a couple of nice goals along the way, including that tying goal. To me, today, if you look at it, he was one of 3 players that ended up with a +1 on the ice for Team Canada in a losing effort. I don't think with the exception of maybe the face-offs, he did not really hurt Canada in any regard. And I thought that's something he's going to take. I think he absorbed a lot from some of the more experienced centers and players that were on the team, and it's something that he will bring back to Montreal. With Kapanen, I gotta admit I'm extremely disappointed. Not in Kapanen, but the way he was handled by the team. Did not have a lot of ice time. It was on the bench and didn't really play until that playoff game for the silver or for the bronze medal. And I thought they definitely could have used him. It's not like there was a reason not to play him. It's unfortunate because you take away a very good experience where it helps the individual to sort of improve his game and to gain and to absorb all that's going on. And that was kind of taken away from him. So it was unfortunate that he didn't get the ice time that we thought he should have got.
Yeah, right about that. I agree with you. A couple of people, Mr. Gogol back in the house. Thank you so much to be with us. A couple of comments left and right by Pierre Lebody about different players of Montreal Canadiens. And then we have N26, the last 2 games. He struggled more, and Suzuki struggled as a winger, play better as a center after Crosby injury.
Yeah.
Kevin played well in the first game. You're absolutely about that. Your comments in 26 really what reflect what we're thinking about this. Lack of the face-off win, especially on the power play, hurt Team Canada. That was something we have to watch more. The face-off was really low from not only Suzuki, but McKinnon and everybody else. I think both of that was pretty good. But again, and then, you never know what could happen. So let's move on, guys. The next thing, we have a couple of things we'll talk about this. The Montreal Canadiens roster, Mr. Tap. We're starting to talk about the trade deadline now. Tonight we talk about the Atlantic Division, so don't go nowhere. We'll be here for a couple of more minutes. Hughes is on the clock, Mr. Tap. Now, the phone, Mr. Tap, I think he has 4 different phones, I believe, if I can recall it. And they're all on the charge right now on the wall. They are plugging right now. and it's going to be hot the next couple of days. And we're going to talk about Bill. He's going to talk with Doug. He's going to talk with Bill. He's going to be busy on the phone, but the Montreal Canadiens is on the clock right now. And the biggest thing for me is honestly Patrick Laine. We're going to talk more about this the next couple of minutes, but I don't see Montreal make a lot of change right here. I think they are satisfied for what they have. But do you expect what happening with Patrick Laine? That would be the biggest question. The Los Angeles Kings possible looking for a plus since Fiala is out. They have about $50 million to spend. They could have welcome Laine, but they have maybe another plus. We'll talk about this in the next couple of minutes. Could be the target for the team, the Kings. So what you see for the next, until the trade deadline for Ken Hughes, Mr. Enortap?
I don't see a lot of movement, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, Laine is going to be an issue because it's hard. It's hard to place him on the team at this point, right? He's very specialized in certain areas, and I think that those are opportunities that are not necessarily going to be given to him. And I mean, he might be on the second power play unit, but I just don't see him keeping up the 5-on-5 game, the speed of the game. I mean, it's not that he's very slow or anything like that, but the NHL has changed, and Montreal is a fast transition type of team now, and it doesn't fit his style, and vice versa. He doesn't fit into the system right now. So I think if they can try to get a trade for Laine, that they're going to try to make that work, even if they have to eat some of the contract to make that happen, or throw in a subsidiary pick to make it happen. I think that that's what they'll do. And, there are a couple teams that could use a specialized player like Laine, who put in the right set of circumstances, can still experience some success. So I think that could happen. It's possible if they can pick up a winger that can play the middle six and brings a little bit of ruggedness to the game as well, and they might look that direction. And the other direction they could look at is maybe a right-handed, bottom four defenseman that is a stay-at-home kind of defenseman, has some size and can help clear the players in front of the net. And I think they could look that direction, but they're not going to stray away from what their blueprint is, and that's to build a team that is successful for many years to come, and not just maybe a successful playoff push.
Now, what point was said about this? I don't expect anything huge or major or anything like that. I think the targeting you just said is pretty good. I don't see any change. I think you talk about the middle assist now. I would say to you, with Bolduc, they have the New York is coming back. You have Kirby Dak right there. Are you going to like to improve maybe the top winger six, maybe? But I don't think so. You this at the trade deadline. This is something we're going to wait more during the summer to get that kind of plus. Yeah. Every year they go get that kind of position. Last year they get a right defenseman, and they pick up Dano for one reason, to stabilize the center line. And you put this with Newhook, Doc, Gallagher, Anderson, Bolduc. I think right now this is going to be what they're looking for with Sakeski, Demidov, Kapanen, Suzuki, Caulfield. I think I don't see how they can make something there in the top 12, we want to call it. Really, like you said, you nailed it. More like a right defenseman. Player maybe bigger, at 6'3", 6'4", a little bit more physical. And I think if they do that, they will stabilize more to give the right share of Alex Carrier and not demanding too much at Alex Carrier. I would like to get a big body defenseman right side, can play on the PK, Mr. Enortap, like a special role, like Philippe Dano.
Yeah.
A specific role at the forward, face-off, PK, bottom six, something like that. Like you said, the bottom four, I think Montreal should get, I don't want a specific player, but you don't need to spend a lot, example, to get Connor Murphy, example, for Chicago. I think Murphy, he can be that kind of defenseman you can get. The PK, the Chicago guy, is the top, is number one in the NHL. Murphy is one of the reasons behind that. So I think to bring a Murphy, play over Carrier, and Carrier Murphy can switch second, third line. I know if you do that, you have to remove Strobel and maybe Jacky, but it is what it is at some point. And maybe after that, they can make another change inside on the roster for the playoff if they need it. But I think that's the only situation I think could happen. I said Connor Murphy, guys, could be another defenseman. I don't want to specific Connor Murphy. I'm just talking about the need they're looking for the remaining of the season. I think this is what I'm looking for the Canadiens. But I don't expect big, quiet trade deadline. It's been like this with Ken Hughes. He's never been a big, make a big chunk at the trade deadline. This is more about the summertime. They made that. Let's see what we got in the chat. The spring training game has already started in NNB. Weather is funny. You're absolutely, PW. I watched a couple of game highlights to pick up. Talking about this, guys, we're going to carry on baseball this summer. The Blue Jays will be the number one spot for here at the Hockey Nation. PS is in the house. Welcome back. And then we bring back David Savard. Luc Laperson, welcome back also with us. On this one, François talked about the CF Montreal, lost 5-0. I don't know. This is not looking good. Lonnie is a spare tire. Gary, Gogol, Standerman, just dropped him off somewhere around the road trip. And as was this Sweden, Canada, some mad. The last 3 versus 3 Czechia likely as mad and didn't even get the play for Emerald. About that, and then we have Stan Lonnie could be traded to the Kings after the ad finished the California road trip. Possible there too. About that, Hughes knows that he will have to overpay and the trade deadline, so he's really going to be quiet for that one. And I think Enortap nailed it with his comments about that. So this is happening, guys, for the roster. Before we go to the trade deadline, I want to talk this. The trade deadline, guys, we're going to talk about this tonight, tomorrow, and the next day, by the way, with other people. The Rocket finished the weekend with 2-1-0. 3 games for the Rocket, Mr. Enortap, the only weekend. And it was the second time the last 11 game, I believe they lost. Today, but it's called 3-1 against Utica. They won the both game Friday, Saturday, won a shootout, won an overtime. And Fuller injury continues to bother him. Kakkonen was pretty good overall. Jacky now playing the 4-line, guys. A lot of fans expect Florent Jacky make the Montreal Canadiens. This not been like Owen Beck. Both of them been with Canada, with Montreal at the beginning of the season. They don't have a great year with the Laval Rocket. With all the respect, and I don't want to be negative, but Beck, most for Beck, he have only 6-7 goals this year. He did not come back strong after the send down from Montreal in November. Jacky, they tried to find a role for Jacky inside of the top 6. Does not do well. Now he played as a center yesterday at the 4. On the 4-9. It's not like maybe demote. Is it demote? Like you drop down like a demote? Is it?
No, it's not a demotion. Not necessarily. Yeah. I mean, I think they're just trying to fit him into what works best for the team, and I think their top 2 lines are actually clicking quite well. So they don't want to disrupt that continuity. So they've been trying to. They tried him on the 3rd line as well, but you're right. He's been mostly on the 4th line. Unfortunately, he's been getting involved in a lot of fights afterwards, and even though that's part of his game, but I'd like to see that reduced a little bit because he does bring a certain skill level to the game. So he should really work on that, and they should try to develop that aspect, because if he can be an energy type of player, it gives him a better chance to land a position in Montreal eventually.
Absolutely right. When I see him, I'm thinking about the New York Rangers, Cooley, the big winger.
Kemp. not Kemp. Kemp.
Cooley.
Rempe.
Now I'm talking
Are you
about
thinking about?
Cooley, the number 15.
Oh, yes.
Big forward, power forward. He generate couple of for offensive side. But that's what I'm thinking about Florent Jacquet, on my opinion on that one. But we have to wait about this. Nico Shire to the AB for Bodzik, Beck, Zarowski, and the first round pick. Now, talking about this guy, Engstrom continues to dominate for Laval Rocket. Engstrom is on tap. It's sad, but he should be in the NHL. And that would be very interesting what happening with him, because he could be part of the big package deal, Adam Ekstrom. And during summer for Montreal Canadiens to get someone they're looking for, you have to pay the price. But Ekstrom right now should play in NHL. He was playing with Chicago, San Jose, or someone else. I think he will be a good asset for them. But we have to wait for Ekstrom. He's really the only one close to be with the Montreal Canadiens. Now, Michael Edge last week have 5 points on the weekend. He was the first star of the Michigan on this league East, the EC. And then he had 1 point on the weekend. He had 10 points the last 8 games with Michigan. Michael Edge continues to perform. And since he came back for the World Junior Championship, he's still growing his game. So it will be interesting, because now he's on final year. We expect him to get his entry-level contract. I'm not sure he's going to get with Montreal or he's going to go with Laval Rocket. But I don't see for his benefit Enortap to return with Michigan next season.
Right. Yeah. It's. I think he's sort of beyond that now at this stage. He needs the next challenge in his career and development, and so he could start off in the AHL. I mean, it all depends on how he performs at the training camp, and we'll see where that goes. But expect him probably to play a game or two this year. I would definitely bank on that.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Kirby for Cat and Rat is in the house. Thanks everybody to click on the likes tonight. I appreciate that. For you doing well. Kirby was really busy with Olympic, Mr. Tap, with his side, with all of those people. I'm a part of their chat room. He said, Coach is quiet. I read their stuff, but I cannot do anything else, Mr. Tap. I'm too busy with everything. But I love to follow Kirby. Glad to see you, my friend. Thanks again to be with Talking Nation Show. Kirby does a good job with his channel and the comment they have. Talking about this, Mr. Tap, let's see where I get the N26 talk about Mike Sullivan. Francois continues to be busy with everything. Pickford returned yesterday during the weekend for the first time in the last month with the team Medicine Hat. The Medicine Hat won both games. He got 1 assist Friday night. And then last night, he did it again. He scored a game-winning goal in overtime with 1 assist. 3 points for him during the weekend. Great performance for Pickford. This is the one the player you have to follow up, honestly, the next couple of weeks to see what you look like. Medicine are one of the, not a best team in the but the best team. They have a really good run, but they should be compete for the world for the go to the Memorial Cup for the second year back to back without Langstrom, without McKenna. They're going to they consist to performing. Talking about McKenna, Mr. Tap, 8 point Friday night with Penn State, 8-2, 1 goal, 7 assists, and then yesterday he did it again with another game of 2 point. He have 10 point in 2 game with the Penn State. So McKenna could be drafted by the Vancouver Canucks. Don't be surprised, guys. The Vancouver Canucks will do everything to get Kevin McKenna. Whatsoever is not number 1 or number 2. They will try to move up to get him. But if Vancouver is the number 1, Mr. Tap, don't look anywhere. They don't. His jersey is already in the room, Mr. Tap. He's already there with number 72.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, it definitely is a player that they're looking out for in case he's available. But we'll see. We'll see. I just think that his stock value went down a little bit.
I agree with you. But are you agree, Greg? If Vancouver have an option to select him, they're going to skip him?
It
Now,
depends. I think if they have the number one pick, I don't think they go. I don't think they go McKenna.
oh yeah, McKenna is
You think
from.
so?
Oh yeah, he's from the
Yeah,
Western
I
over
know
there.
it's. I know, but
No,
sometimes you have to
Mr.
make
Tap,
better
no,
decisions.
no, no.
I think so.
It's a bit like I don't want to get that, but let's see, guys. A player born in Montreal, whatever his last name, right? And he have a
Lafreniere?
selection, a first round pick, and the same thing like McKenna. Montreal Canadiens can escape him. Like they have to pick up this kid. So I think that would be the same thing with Vancouver Canucks. At the end of the day, Mr. Tap, McKenna versus any other players at the top, like Brennett, like maybe the kid from Sweden, Stenberg,
Yeah.
right? But still believe for the benefit of the difference between Stenberg and McKenna, it's not like big, it's close.
Yeah, it's
right?
not a huge
So
margin.
if you think about
Yeah.
the impact of McKenna in Vancouver compared to Stenberg, no doubt Canucks going to select McKenna all day long. I don't see any other things about that one for sure. On that one, Vancouver likes Stenberg too. I feel
Yeah, he does. They
Verhop
do.
is
They do.
Alberta boy. Now, Kirby, you're right about Stenberg. Now, the only thing I could be wrong now, and but I don't change my mind. Alvin, Sweden, but I can understand that one over there. For sure, the Flame, Calgary Flame could get him too, of course. Talking about Canadian, Zarowski scored his 14 goal yesterday. Happy birthday, Mr. Tap. Not for you, but Zarowski turned 19 years old today. Then he got his 38 point of 48 game. Is the last month, Zarowski have been like up and down. 1 point there, 2 game, no point, 1 game there. But it's good for Sid to score a goal against the Spartak. So it's a good team. So a good congratulations for him, Mr. Enortap, for Zarowski. That give you a little bit more an overview of Montreal Canadiens. Of course, we're going to talk more about the Montreal Canadiens, what is coming this week, tomorrow, the next day. But do you draft for the fans or you need Luc Lafortune? I can understand that.
Good point, Luke.
I can understand that. But at the end of the day, for me, McKenna is not behind. You don't select a pick number 10 to get number 1. He's at the top 4, and I don't see really. But first of all, the Vancouver need everything, so it's not they need everything, so it's not like end of the world. But I can understand your point of view. Look, of course, I understand. But just for me, the difference between Stenberg and McKenna is not big. I would go with McKenna because around that one over there. But of course, Vancouver likes the Sweden because Alvin. I can understand
Yes,
that
Gary.
too.
Yes.
No doubt in my mind. I just feel they will not skip. I'm sad we will not see luge and bobsleigh for 4 years at PLW. I maybe see 45 seconds of the luge. I don't understand. That's not that. They go up, they go down, they turn around that way, and someone tell me he's controlling the bobsleigh. Come on, it's like they just lay down, and I can do the same thing as at the water park.
Well, I forgot which team was it that maybe somebody can help us in the chat, that the players or the athletes weren't successful in getting into the bobsled and fell on the ice themselves. It was a huge disappointment. I don't know if it was a U.S.
I don't know the story, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
About
I can't remember
this.
who it was.
Yes, exactly. Mr. Anton, we're going to talk about the trade deadline. Now, tonight, guys, I'm going to get an overview of the trade deadline. We have time. We're going to talk about the Atlantic Division. If we are not enough time, we're going to go to Canadiens. We have 3 nights to talk about the trade deadline, so we now have to be a rush to go everything, guys, on that one. It was USA and the trial, maybe PLW. About that, Coach talking Olympic sport. I love it. Kirby, about this.
Coach knows all.
Kirby, I follow curling like I never follow curling in my life. I can talk about players. I can talk about team. Curling was really one I watched a couple of highlights, Mr. Top, figure skating. I did not do a lot of figure skating like I was in the past. I don't know why. I was not into it. It depends the schedule, right? My schedule was to give me more time for curling, and but glad to see that. Mr. Tap, the trade deadline, March 6th, for all of you guys in the chat. You can talk about more on this one if you want to. What it is the trade deadline. Again, P.S. You see, Mr. Tap, the timing is everything in the world. It was March 6th, P.S. curling. Yes, my family, blood, fun sport, good for you, coach. You're welcome. Difficult to play curling in the tail end, but the best trade are done and the off season. Good point about this, Gary. Also, now, Mr. Tap.
Yeah, let's look at this.
Before that, Mr. Tap, let's go here, and we go to hiding. Me and Mr. Tap, we don't take a break, but we're going to give you guys the standing and the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference very quickly. Tampa Bay, Montreal, Detroit, Buffalo, Boston, Ottawa, Toronto, Florida. In my opinion, at what it is right now, Florida Panthers, they're going to give up. Kirby is in that chat. I think Florida Panthers is going to be quiet. Toronto and Ottawa are thinking to do a move. Boston, Buffalo, Detroit, Montreal are really in the race of the playoff, and Tampa Bay are number one. That said, at the number two, Metropolitan Carolina Hurricane is alone. You get a big fight, Islanders, Pittsburgh, Penguins. But they have to pay attention to Washington and Blue Jacket are pushing at their back with only 4 points. And the Columbus guys are 2 game in hands against the New York Islanders. But over for Flyers, Devils, and Rangers for that one. Move on to the next one. We're going to get the Central Division. Colorado, Minnesota, Dallas. They are alone.
Wow.
By mile. And then you have Mammoth, Mr. Tap, at 64. And then Nashville tried to hang in there. But Chicago, Winnipeg, and St. Louis Blues are out of the picture on that one. And finally, guys, on the Pacific Division, the Golden Knight, 68, Edmonton, 64. And then you have the Kraken and Ducks at 63. The Kings want to come back. And that race, the San Jose Sharks is over. Calgary is over. And Vancouver are alone at the bottom of NHL. That said, and we know that brings me the next level on my subject. I think, Mr. Top, the Southern team right now are the Devils, the Flyers, the Rangers, and the Eastern Conference only. Then you have Vancouver, and the Western, you can see more team, guys. Chicago, the Calgary Flame, the St. Louis Blues, the Winnipeg Jet, and the Nashville Predator are right now on the seller team and not a buyer, honestly, on that one. You have a lot of people in the chat, guy, they take too much time to sharing all your comments, but I appreciate a lot. That's it, Mr. Tap. I'm going to give you one more thing, then you can talk about this. Now, the player on the market. Now, I can go with 20 more. I took one per team with the player with the team relate about them. Doug Hamilton for New Jersey Devils. Yes, you can maybe talk about other players over there, but Hamilton is maybe on the trade market. Flyers, they have Ristolainen. Maybe they can trade with other players also that one, but I think Ristolainen, the defenseman, where is a right defenseman, Mr. Tap? You have a good Olympic, by the way, Ristolainen with Finland, in my opinion, on that one. Then you have Trocheck for the New York Rangers. New York Rangers guy, they can sell more. But Trocheck is really, because he's a second center, he can be on the top 6, could be a target at some point. Kane for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, Vancouver Canucks, they have a couple of players over there, but many of them, like Bowser or Peterson, can be moved. Peterson would be interesting to follow up. Chicago guy, they have 7 UF3 Chicago. Murphy, Mikheyev, Dickinson, Gretzky, Foligno are the biggest name over there. Murphy for me because he's another right defenseman. But Mikheyev, Dickinson are really the top name in Chicago. Now, Calgary, I put Kadri. Why? Because he's the second center. He's the first center with them. He could be on the target at some point. You have other players like Wegar, Coleman, Pospisil, and other players could be on the target. Zary could be also moving out of the Calgary Flame. St. Louis Blue, there's a tap. Justin Falk is the number one there, but you can beat Brendan Shine. Jordan Giroux, his name is available now to make a trade over there. We talk about Perry and Co. They hear maybe about Perry and Co. I don't feel Robert Thomas going to get out of that equation. The Winnipeg Jet, number one, their name is really Logan Stanley for that team. And finally, the Nashville Predator. This is a team right now try to make the playoff, but I don't think so they're going to make it. How they can beat Dallas, Minnesota, and I don't see that. So what happening for them, I think, going to be more like a seller at a buyer. And could be Steven Stamkos. And I mentioned this name is not that because everybody talk Patrick Laine Montreal. I think Stamkos can go with the Kings, Mr.
Yeah, that's always a possibility, Coach. I mean, when I look at your list here, I mean, one team I would add to your seller list, I think, could very well be Florida as well. I think that they're at a point where they're realizing it's going to be quite a battle, and they still have some injuries on their hands to contend with. That they might just try to retool very quickly for next year and give it a run next year when the team is a little bit healthier. And one of the names that maybe, Kirby, if he's still out there, could help us out with this. One of the names that I keep hearing right now is the possibility of even Bobrovsky being on the market for somebody, and that could create quite the frenzy, especially for a team that either has an injury at the goaltending position or is looking to drastically improve it. The players that you list there, they're all bait for sure. I would add some of the St. Louis players because I think that they're going to have to do something to sort of change the composite of that team moving forward, because right now they're not looking very solid at all. Again, at the beginning of the year there was talk about possibly Binnington, but I right now I think he stays put. If anything happens with him, it'd probably be over the summer. But the problem is you're going to have more buyers than sellers, and so that creates a high price tag, and that's where you have to be careful. And I think that's where Hughes has his priorities correct, in that they're not going to jeopardize what their, as I said before, what their blueprint is for the team, and just to make to win a round or two. Because let's face it, pretty much, even if they were to get a solid player like a Robert Thomas, which I don't think will happen, but suppose Montreal were to get that, does that put them over the top and make them a Stanley Cup I won't even say champion, but a threat? And I don't think that's quite enough yet right now at this stage in their development. So I think Hughes will stick to his guns, and these are all legitimate players that will be on the market. Question is, who's going to pay the price tag that's that high? And there's only a couple teams. Like now, LA, with Fiala out possibly the whole year, it looks like. I would not risk bringing him back this year at all. I know they picked up Panarin, but they wanted some scoring, and Fiala was one of their players that was having a decent season. They're going to be on the market, and they're going to have the money to go after somebody. There's a variety of other. I think Carolina has some money to try to bring somebody in. Probably, I would say, a scorer to add to their team. I'm trying to think of some other teams. I think maybe Detroit will be active. Tampa Bay might look for a piece or two to help them, bring their roster, to solidify their roster a bit more. And then what does somebody like Columbus do, Coach? You don't have them on the list, but they're what, I think 4 points out of a wild card right now, if I'm not mistaken. So they could and I think I haven't checked lately, but I think they have money to spend, so they could be a team, a sneaky team to look out for.
Yeah, you're right about that. Because kind of based on the buyer, so his team is. I was just talking about the sailor, so
Yeah, the sellers.
that's the
Yeah.
reason they are not there. Like great comments in the chat. PW, we have Cat and Rat constantly talking about Bob. I agree with you about your comments about this. Francois also, Billy and Ovidio talking about this for sure. Now, like I said, tonight we're going to focus more on the Atlantic division, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see again the division. I want to talk about this, the Atlantic standing. Now, the Tampa Bay Lightning guys are 78 points. Montreal, Detroit, 72. Montreal at one game and ends. But now you have Buffalo 70 and Buffalo and Boston at 69. They are only 3 points and 2 points out the top second position. And then you have after that Ottawa, Toronto 63 and Florida at 61. So that gives you the big picture of the standing right there on this one. That brings me back you guys right here. So you get the everyone here: Tampa Bay, Montreal, Detroit, Buffalo, Boston, Ottawa, Toronto, and Florida. So we're going to do, guys, in the chat. You're going to tell me who are the buyer, who are the seller. Well, maybe that team will not move allowed. So, and if they do that, let me know in the chat who they're looking for. How they're going to get that one. That would be very interesting about what will be your answer. Mickey Moonrock, welcome in the house. First time in the chat here at the Hockey National Show. Welcome, my friend, Mickey. Oops, sorry about that. That's another one. Oops. They will need, Mickey, look about they need Kadri, but they will have to give up asset for sure. I agree with you about that. Great comment, David. Expect McDavid to be traded this summer. PS, the Detroit may be improved if they can find the right player for the right price. Same for the Boston. Toronto and Ottawa should build the plug. They won't like Bajuel. And was it Winnipeg will demand Sakeski and maybe Coley to get Alibak to Montreal. For that same, but they won't. Mickey Megzero is going to finish his career with 0 cup for the seller for Billy about that. So, Mr. Enortap, you get that one here. That'll give you an idea. And then we're going to give you get one with that. Who are the buyer and seller? Before I go there, I will ask you what you think, who they are, the seller and the buyer.
Okay, if I just run across the list as you have it there, I think Tampa Bay is in the market to buy, but I don't think it's anything major that they'll pick up. It's just solidifying their roster, maybe a good role player. I would say they need a little bit of help on defense, so that could be it. Montreal, we've spoken about. I don't anticipate anything big, but I do see either, as we said before, a middle six, more rugged type of player that can win battles on the boards and give Montreal that physicality and size that they need. And same thing on a right-handed defenseman as well. Detroit's going to be a key player, I think, in terms of buying. They do need some help on defense because once you get by the Moritz Seider pairing, you have some question marks there. Buffalo has the possibility of buying as well. I think that even though their defense is looking much more solid since I'd say about the 20 game mark of this season, I think that they could use some more help there. I don't know how their health situation is up front. I know they had a couple of injuries before, but they'll probably buy. I think Boston will sell. I think Ottawa. Ottawa's a strange one. Like I don't think that they're very content with being where they are. I think the expectations for Ottawa were much higher at the beginning of the year. This team can go many directions. I'm afraid. I think if they try to buy, it's a mistake. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I think Toronto, boy, it's going to be tough for them to make up as many points as they need. And coming right out of the Olympics, I think they have Florida and then Tampa Bay once, and then, if I'm not mistaken, even Carolina. So they have 3 tough games, and I think those 3 games will probably determine whether they're going to be buying or selling. And Florida, I think, is going to probably sell off some players. Not many. I just think a couple to sort of retool for next year and enter the year a little bit healthier than they were this year.
Yeah, a lot of great comments you mentioned about that. A couple of people that also talk about what could happen in that classic. I put this graphic there because I think that's what they're looking for. Then probably maybe add a right defenseman, Montreal and Detroit also, or maybe add that kind of position on the deep on the side. Now, Tampa Bay Lightning would like maybe bring another bottom six forward, more physical. Over example like Douglas, he's out now, but Sebourin, everything like that. I think he would like to add that kind, but really more focus on the right defenseman behind Radish and Sonak. But we have to wait about this. Montreal, we talk about them. We expect maybe a right defenseman. Not Moon, but Mickey talk about Kedrin Montreal. I don't see that. To be honest with you, for the Montreal Canadiens, I don't see Montreal make a big move that way. Mickey, I think, going to wait until the Christmas during the summer to make a trade for a top six. I think they are happy with Kapanen right now. I think they are happy for what they have, and they don't think it's a year yet this year to push to go farther on the playoffs. So I think they would be a little bit more quiet. Maybe some depth on the right defenseman, like I mentioned to you about that. Now, Detroit is really interesting because Detroit did not make the playoff like Buffalo for many years, Mr. Tap. We talk about 9 years for Detroit, 14 years, 15 years for Buffalo. This is a two thing right now. They have a chance to do it. Like they had knocked the door. So they're going to push hard to get more players at the trade deadline. Buffalo, the biggest concern is about Alex Stock on his final year contract. What are you going to do with him after that? So it'll be really interesting. I think they would like to get another defenseman on the point. You talk about what's going on with B-Ram, Power. Samuelson have a great year with the Buffalo Sabre. And Dallin, for me, in my opinion, is underrated talent right now. So I think they would like to get a deep defenseman because right now they play with Metza and the Clifton on the right side. I think you would like to get another left defenseman, deep experience. And I think, don't be surprised, they trade for Logan Stanley.
Yeah, you're right. I think that would give him some size on defense.
That would be a perfect matchup. I think the matchup fit very well with the Buffalo to get Logan Stanley for the Buffalo from the Winnipeg Jet. A second round pick, a third round pick. I think Winnipeg Jet, we're going to move on that direction about that. That said, Boston right now, they are McEnroy, Pasternak, Kiki, and Swimmen. What he would like to get is, of course, depth on the bottom six over there, and I think they're still looking for that part. You talk about Ottawa. They would like to be like that with Boston. I think they would like to add. The biggest problem for Ottawa has been the goaltending situation. They are where they are because the goaltending, they're not hanging there this season with Ulmark and the rest. So they are 63 points. But if you think about all analytic numbers on different departments, on different categories, Ottawa is the top 5 best team in NHL on different categories. And I think they don't want to change too much about this. If the goaltender can hang in there, I think they will be in a better position this year on this standing. So I don't see a lot of change over there. Maybe bring up players like that, but that's it. The Fleur Panthers are not going to go nowhere. They're not going to try to buy. I think Kirby bring a great point. They have a top 10 pick protected. If not, Chicago get it. So I think they would like to finish at the bottom 10, Mr. Enortap. Don't be surprised they trade maybe a couple of players right there at the final year contract, or they're going to make any chance to improve the team. They know the season is over. They're going hanging there to the end, everything like that. I think Florida's go there. The Toronto is really the biggest problem for them. They're hanging there. They are trying to make it, maybe not make it. They have a up and down season where they can play 8 games, sort of win 7. Then they can play 8 games and they can lose 7. They at home they lose 8 games. I believe they go on the road. They won 7 of the 8. So inconsistency for the team. They're looking better. But I think for me, Toronto will going to wait until March 4th, 5th, and 6th to figure out what they're going to do. I cannot see them yet sell. I cannot see them buy. But I think Toronto right there. I think a couple of teams of that class season are looking more for the right defenseman at the bottom third pairing, and they're looking more for depth on the bottom 6. Player like Mikheyev with the Chicago Blackhawks, Dickinson with Chicago. It's a 2 player right there. Player from Chicago, from St. Louis, maybe Brandon Shine could be a big piece of the puzzle, and Detroit Red Wings, I believe they can fit him over there. I believe there will be something like that. And we don't talk about Atlantic right now. We don't talk about other division. I think this is the direction I'm looking for those 8 teams. I don't know if you want to add something else.
No, I think between the two of us, we covered most of the possibilities there. It will all depend on what they're willing to pay for some of these players, right?
Yeah, definitely about that. That's the reason I
That's
said
selling price.
Montreal is not going to go nowhere. Mr. Time is not going to trade and
No.
for a big trade right there, the trade deadline. Tampa Bay Lightning love what they have right now. They hopefully that's a plan again. We don't know what happened with Victor Edmond. We know it's a lower back problem.
Well,
But how much
yeah,
it will be
yeah,
aggravated? He's been dealing with this all year long, and you have to
and
be hurt
that's why
to sit on the bench for
he'll
the
look
full
for.
game.
That's right, and that's why I think Tampa Bay will be looking for a defenseman. I mean, to me, Toronto's is really an enigma as well because they don't have very many assets. They don't have very many prospects that they can deal with if they wanted to buy. And given where they're at, I think the next 4 or 5 games that they play will really determine whether they're going to be buyers or sellers. And the problem is, what do they have to offer if they want to be buyers? That's the
But
issue.
it's if you
And
look about they have right. Carlo is one of them, a right defenseman, can be at the third pairing, second pairing. It's one of them. Matt Shelley, they think they can go somewhere. He can maybe get a one. Chad Kroc or Sean Kroc is a bottom 6 over there. But what you try to explain to us is more about what they get in return to be satisfied the projection for the next couple of years. They're not going to get a first round pick.
right,
They're not going to get a
if
big
they
prospect.
yeah, if they're going to make a small move
Yeah.
that doesn't really benefit them, it's useless to do that. Now, the Carlo situation is interesting, though, right? Because if you think back to the trade that they made, they gave up an awful lot to get Carlo, and if they finish in the bottom 10, well, Boston has their first round pick this year, so Boston is in a pretty good situation when you look at it from an overall point of view. And so I think if anything, the Leafs will try to at least not finish in the bottom 10.
Yeah. Again, I think that would be really interesting what I'm in there. When you look about this, Mr. Enortap, again, I'm going to show the standing guide for all of you. This is not what they expect at the beginning of the season, to be honest with you. We can see now the reverse of the standing for years, Mr. Enortap. Tampa Bay Lightning, Toronto Maple Leafs,
Yeah.
Blair Panthers. It was sit at the top of this with Boston Bruins. They was all day there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just mess up the name of the team, and they will be always there. At the bottom, it was always Ottawa, Buffalo, Detroit, Montreal. And now you see a change on the standing right there. The Tampa are still at the top. Boston tried to get there, but this could be not only this year, but it could be for the next couple of years. We see that Montreal hanging there with Detroit, Buffalo, and Ottawa. And I think at some point Tampa Bay is going to be a little bit down. But this is a new place. Going to get that one where they are on this one. And that's what I expect the trade deadline to be really more active. Barkov timeline would be determined as soon as February wrapping up. For that one, PW talk about Brendan Carlo will make any team worse. They are Toronto trade straight division game. for that one. And then Barkov will sit out for a long time at PS. Dallas trade Jason Robinson to the league for Raleigh and Cowan. About that one. Problem is Dallas, they're looking for right defenseman. I don't think so. They left side. Now, I think Carolina would like to get a right defenseman. We're going to talk about them tomorrow, so I don't want to get there, but I was getting excited about that team. But we're going to wait tomorrow, guys, to get that. And that sentence on top, we get at 10:16. We respect the time for all of us. We're going to finish with a big clash. And don't forget, everybody, we're going to be back tomorrow and Tuesday. We're going to talk about other division, but we can definitely back again with that classic. And in the next couple of days, maybe we'll have some change or some move Monday and Tuesday. Some team don't want to wait at the last day to make a trade. They would prefer to take that player earlier. He had to say some team 3 or 4 games before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
I think
I think you'll see a domino effect once one team starts getting something done. I mean, a lot of it has to do, like, sometimes you don't want to necessarily make a trade, but you see the teams that you're competing with make a move that could possibly push them slightly ahead of you. And as you showed the standings earlier, the teams are all within 3-4 points of each other. So one player could mean a difference of making or not making the playoffs. So you might be forced, and I hate to use that word because I don't think any team, any general manager should be mandated by what others do around them. But if your expectation is to be in the playoffs, for example, Detroit, that was a definite out of the gate expectation for them, and teams around them are improving, they might be forced to have to do things.
You said, Mr. Adventure, welcome in the house. Thanks for being with us. And then, Francois, we wish you an amazing, great week. The Doc, don't forget the Canadiens play Thursday night. For people who want to know exactly the schedule, guys, the NHL return Wednesday night with a couple of games, 6 games, I believe. And then we have 13 games Thursday, and Montreal owes the New York Canadiens. And the Montreal have, again, 25 games remaining, and they have to play 3 times again. Them. So it will be very interesting what's happening there, Mr. Enortap. We'll finish with a clash before we leave the building, Mr. Enortap. And we'll see what we got here. 5 questions, guys, very easy. And people want more quiz, Mr. Enortap. We did a very good job on the quiz at the Olympic. I found a way to get about maybe 60 questions and never have the same question. We play around and we find a way to get that. So congratulations. We didn't have anyone have a perfect game at the quiz. Maybe 1 or 2 get the 4 and 5. But PLW Nate right now with those. The gold one and Mr. Bucks. Welcome back in the house, Mr. Buck. I think the bar at that line. A great point about that. Mr. Enortap, the Flame will trade Kadri and Coleman at the trade deadline. Absolutely or not at all?
I'm going to go with absolutely. I think that they've established that they want to go in a particular direction, and to get a high draft pick for themselves, this would help if you got rid of these 2, and you can get some nice picks and possible prospects for trading both Kadri and Coleman. So absolutely.
You're absolutely about that. You go with absolutely. Olympic, yeah. Mr. Billy said the quiz was best for me. I missed most of them, Billy. Look like for not on that one. Sad to miss Olympic quiz. I will have to check the replay out maybe. It was a lot of good question, Kirby.
It was.
I think you're going to be... It's fun thing, at the beginning it was more general. After that, go a little bit more deeper. And I think the best name was Emo, Mr. Enortap, the goaltender. Emo was the biggest name on that one. Sanderman go with Kadri. Absolutely about that. Montreal need to stay away from both players. And 26, Kadri is a difficult contract to move. Definitely about that.
Well, so is Coleman. The asking price for Coleman is quite high from what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Now, take a note, guys. It's not together, right? But they can split and they can be traded. So, absolutely on that one, Mr. Enortap. Number 1 is over. Let's move on Montreal Canadiens, Laine is out of the Montreal Canadiens, and I could add more. Do you expect him to play one game before he gets traded, Mr. Top?
No, I don't. I personally, I said it a while back. I think he's played his last game as a Montreal Canadian. So I'll say absolutely he's out, even if they have to eat some of his contract.
Yeah, I agree with you about this. I think Laine is over. His day is over. I don't see him to come back with that. Kirby said Coleman, good fit for Montreal Canadiens. Yes. The quiz was easy for Luc Lavortune like it is every time. So look about that one. Next one, we're going to get one at number 3, Mr. Tap. Stan the Man said Laine absolutely about that one. Well, will be wild. Wild would be wild, Mr. Tap. Most straight over Dallas and Colorado. So my point of view is, do you think Minnesota going to make more trade compared to Dallas and Colorado at the trade deadline, or not at all?
Yeah, I think I definitely think they will. Of those three teams, they'll probably be the most active. I think they pretty much know that they're going to probably face off against Dallas, and that's what they're going to have to prepare themselves for. So they want to be in a position where, at the very least, they have home ice advantage, and maybe picking up a couple depth players on the team will help them get to that stage.
Yeah, I think they're going to make more trade at Colorado Avalanche. I think Dallas Colorado will make one trade. I see
Yeah.
aggressive for the Wild. They they gave a big contract to Kaprizov. They trade for Quan Hughes, and now they want to get a center. I believe me, they will try to get Kadri, but I don't think Calgary want to give Kadri. I think they are going to targeting Vincent Trocheck, Mr. For the New York Rangers. Is going to be on that one. So the Dallas Stars could be aggressive also. Kirby for sure on that one. On that one, stand the man Wild absolutely about that. So I go also with that. I think absolutely for the Wild, Mr. Tap. And the next one, we have two to go, guys. The 12 most aggressive team trade deadline at the Atlantic. So for all the team at Atlantic, which team are going to be more aggressive? And we select Detroit. Is it absolutely, or you think another team we're going to make more trade at Detroit, Mr. Tap?
Uh, I'm debating between Detroit and Buffalo. Um, I think they both have cap space. I think they both realize that this year, with both Florida and Toronto and possibly Ottawa out of the mix, they have a very legitimate shot at getting, at the very least, a wild card. So, will Detroit be more aggressive in the Atlantic? I'm going to go with yes, simply because they probably have the most cap space to play around with. So, absolutely.
I go with absolutely on that one. I think Eiserman, like Kirby said, the Eiser plan, tough one. I think he want to put all the dice on the table, Mr. Tap, and he
Yeah.
want to the card on the table. He said, "This is the year. If not, Mr. Tap, he is out."
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been a number of years now that he's had his plan in motion, and this will really dictate his future. I firmly believe that.
Next one, the last one, guys. We cannot do a show without them whatsoever. He's not here tonight. The Toronto Maple Leafs are a buyer at the trade deadline.
Oh, back to the Leafs. I'm gonna say no. I don't think so. I think they're gonna have a hard time coming back from the Olympics. I'm sensing a little bit of issues with Nylander as well, health wise, with the Leafs. Like I don't think many people were pleased that he played for Team Sweden, but he might come back, and we'll see if he plays for the Leafs or if he's going to be off for a while, and that could create some problems internally. I think things get a little bit worse before they get better for the Leafs.
I agree with you about that. I think they're going to go a little bit more quiet on that one. Um, so it's been a big, a strange season on that one. Now, Matthews find a way to win something, Mr. Tap. So that's a congratulations for Austin Matthews. I think, Mr. Tap, in my opinion, Austin Matthews played one of his best games yesterday.
You mean today?
This morning, yeah.
I don't know.
I think, Mr. Tap,
I don't know. I wasn't 100% pleased with his
he played so
his
many. He stopped so
development.
many things on the ice yesterday. Intercept the pass in the defensive zone. Coverage, well, the player in front of net. His defensive side of this game yesterday, Mr. Tap, was top notch, and he missed a big goal on that side. I think for me, it was really performed very well. Austin Matthews overall about that tournament for the Team USA. I select Jack Hughes to win the game, guys. I think Jack Hughes was the underrated players for the Team USA. I think he did a lot of things what he was not expect to be that level. He was not the top 9 at the beginning of the tournament. Jack Hughes, and he stepped up on that one. So we'll see. Cole will do the World Cup soccer Ghana versus Panama. I can't wait to do that World Cup, Mr. Tap. But we're going to do game at the World Cup, Mr. Tap, but more like a watch party. That's called this a watch party usually. How do you call it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's called a watch party. You just come here, watch, talking about the game, and that's pretty much sure it's not going to be a big play-by-play about that one. And that's all we got today, Mr. Tap. We are done with the Red Light Show. The Red Light Show is back now. You're back in the house. And before you leave, we're not going to see you. Maybe if we see you, hopefully. But if I don't see you, Montreal play Islanders in Washington. What are the predictions? And let me know your starter of the game for both for the Montreal Canadiens.
I'm going to go with 3 points for Montreal. And
3 points.
3 points. And I think we're going to start off with Dobesh, followed by Montebo.
It makes sense. I think you want to give the big game Saturday at Montreal and for the people to Montembeau. They're going to split both of them for sure. And a 3 point it's I go with 2, but I would be happy to get 3. And we have to wait until then, Mr. Tap. That's all. Great job.
Great
job.
coach.
Glad to work with you again, Mr. Tap. Hopefully everything is better for you and your family. I can wait to see you next week for the Red Lights show. And until then, enjoy the rest of your week, whatever you do at the teaching and the snow chauffeur,
taking out snow and the shoveling. But we'll be okay. Everything is in perspective, though. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Hockey Nation. We'll see you soon.
Have a good night, Mr. Enortap. I will see you next time. And by the way, Mr. Enortap, don't forget the Fantasy Hockey League, Mr. Enortap. We have 1 more week, I believe, or 2 more weeks, and then we move on to the playoff.
No, there's still, I think, there's about 4 or 5 more weeks.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Look at the schedule.
At the middle of March, Mr. Enortap, that brings up 3 weeks.
Yeah. There's about four people we have to play still.
Awesome. I can't wait to see you next time. Have a good night.
You don't want to trade, do you, Coach?
No trade. I trade on my other league. I play a league at the Fantrax called Fantrax. It's a team we keep forever, right? And I trade my first trade of the year, Mr. Enortap, today. And I gave up on Kevin Baugh. And long term, I make a trade for 2028, a second round pick. It's still far, Mr. Enortap. He is not on the. I cannot get a trade yet. So we'll see what happens. Thanks so much. Have a great night. Hey, what's Mr. Enortap, guys? What a great night we got all together. I'm happy to come back. I miss all of you. Many of you did not follow up on the Olympic by schedule and work, everything like that. But happy to see many of you. And 26. to be back with us. Send them in more often. Kirby, hopefully see you to pick you up this week, Kirby. Maybe a couple of hours, maybe 1 hour, maybe 30 minutes. Kirby going to reach you on the on the chat. Enortap is the shot coach. Stay away. I don't trade with him allowed. Don't worry about that. Eminem, wish you an amazing, great night. And 26. And the only reason we get better, guys, because of this one. You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Exactly, we have greatness inside of you. We wish you an amazing, great night, a great week, everybody. And don't forget, guys, don't worry about the music. Be well, be L. Find a way not only to dominate your day, but find a way to dominate the first app or what? Someone said 2026. Until then, my friend, the Hockey Nation, the Am Nation, and all the animals at the beautiful, great kingdom of Thailand want to tell you one more thing. So we love you, friends. Have an amazing, great night, everybody. I'm happy to see all of you. I can't wait to see you during the next couple of nights. Monday, Tuesday, we talk about the NHL and Montreal Canadiens. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, we do NHL live stream, play-by-play. And I can't wait to see all of you. And don't forget to click on the likes. And until then, my friend RG said one more thing. We love you. RG Calbo 2026. And booyah!